I'm not usually a big fan of war movies. Like, I've got nothing against them, really. I don't hate them, and I can still recognize when they're done well. They just typically aren't really my jam. The trailers for 1917, however, had me more interested than I usually am in this sort of thing. It's set during World War I, which doesn't get nearly as much attention in popular culture as its sequel. The only two other semi-recent big films I can think of set during the First World War are War Horse, which was okay, I guess, but kind of schmaltzy, and Wonder Woman, which is a silly comic book film. So I was interested to see a bit of a more serious and grounded take on this material. Having now seen it, I'm here to report that, despite not being all that into the genre, 1917 really won me over. I like this movie a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if it goes down as the defining World War I movie. 1917 was directed and co-written by Sam Mendes, the director of American Beauty, as well as the two most recent Bond films. And it was based on short stories written by Mendes' grandfather.
My grandfather fought in the First World War. His name was Alfred Hubert Mendes. He was a messenger on the front lines, and he was given the job of carrying the message from post to post.
It takes place over the course of about a day and follows two British soldiers who are sent on a dangerous mission across no man's land and through German-occupied territory in order to deliver a message to another British battalion, which could save up to 1,600 lives, including the brother of one of the two soldiers. This is one of those movies that's edited to appear as though it's all being done in one take, or rather two takes. There's a single hard cut around the end of the second act. This faux long take effect can sometimes feel gimmicky, but it's used extremely effectively in this film. In fact, I think this is probably my favorite usage of the effect ever. It keeps the focus squarely on the experience of these two guys having to try and navigate through the brutal and terrifying conditions of trench warfare in a way that's never been done before.
You have to construct a journey for the camera that's every bit as interesting as the journey of the actor. Sometimes you have a camera being carried by an operator, hooked onto a wire, and the wire carries it across more land, and it's unhooked again. That operator runs with it, then steps onto a small jeep which carries him another 400 yards, and he steps off it again and goes around a corner.
Everything about the movie from a technical perspective is amazing. The production design, costumes, props, they all look perfect, and the cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. There's a sequence where the main character is running through the ruins of this bombed out town at night where the only sources of light are from burning buildings and flares, and it's one of the most haunting, tense, and exciting scenes I've seen in a film all year. But the movie also knows when to take it slow. Despite how the trailers might appear, this is not just a non-stop action and explosions thrill ride. Some of the best parts of the film are when the characters are just kind of creeping around, keeping on the lookout for enemies. There's this anticipation hanging over the entire film where you're constantly on edge, waiting and wondering when disaster is going to strike, and yet nearly every time it did, I was still caught off guard. The two point-of-view characters don't get a ton of development. That's not really the focus of the film. However, the little conversations they have, their mannerisms, and the way they interact with each other are good enough that they were able to carry the film from a character perspective. The performances are also very good by the two leads, George MacKay, as well as Dean Charles Chapman, who played Tommen on Game of Thrones, and I found myself more invested in these two and rooting for their success than I thought I was going to. Even apart from being a big awards season war epic and a monumental technical achievement in film, 1917 is just a really damn good movie. Definitely check it out on the big screen if any of this sounds good to you. And if you like this video, help me out by hitting the like button, subscribing, and ringing the bell to stay up to date on all of my future stuff. Leave a comment down below with any of your thoughts on 1917, and check out some of the other great stuff I've got up here on my channel. As always, thanks so much to all of you guys for watching, and take care.